Hello, this is Miss Pat from Samuel's Public Library. This week in Science Scouts, we're going to be learning about bubbles, how we make them, why they form, and why they pop. We're going to learn different ways of making different kinds of bubbles. So today's story is called Bubbles by Kit Chase. Kangaroo loved to blow bubbles. One day, she saw some mysterious bubbles. She followed the bubble trail. What do you think she found? She found koala. Hello, said Kangaroo. Koala didn't say hello. Koala climbed a tree instead. Hello, Kangaroo called. Koala still didn't say a word. Kangaroo took a lollipop out of her pocket. Koala didn't want it. She took a pinwheel out. Koala didn't want that either. Father, said Kangaroo, as she slowly walked away. Koala looks sad, doesn't she? I wonder why she didn't say anything. Kangaroo sat down to think and blow bubbles. Soon, some bubbles floated by again. Kangaroo and Koala blew friendly bubbles to each other. So there's Kangaroo. And there's Koala. They blew small bubbles and big bubbles and crocodile bubbles and tiger bubbles. It was a happy bubble party. Suddenly, the bubbles began to stick together, and they grew bigger and bigger. And even bigger. The bubbles had turned into a great big bubble monster, and it was heading right toward Kangaroo. Yikes, squawked Koala. Help, squeaked Kangaroo. All of a sudden, Koala felt brave. Let's go get that bubble monster, said Koala. What are they doing? What's going to happen? Kangaroo and Koala looked around. The bubble monster was gone. Hello, said Kangaroo. Hello, said Koala. Kangaroo had bubble gum in her pocket. And they blew bubbles happily ever after. Okay, so we're going to make a couple of bubble creatures too today. But first, we're going to learn a little bit about the kinds of bubbles that we can make. Okay, so here You get to see the bubbles are just pockets of soap and water, and they're filled with air. So this is just soap. That's the outside part of the bubble, and there's air inside of it. The water and the soap are forming a layer all the way around it. When they mix together and you blow air, right? We always have to blow bubbles. So you're blowing the air into that soap and water, and that's what's making the bubble. Right? And they will last as long as they have a wet surface and they don't run into anything and pop. So they can run into something sharp, or they can run into something dry. Okay, so when the outside part of the bubble hits something that's very dry, like your fingers or the street, it's going to dry out the bubble, dry out the soap in the water, and then the air pops it out, right? And that's what causes it to pop. But if your hands are wet, you can blow bubbles on your hands. And so some of the things that you're going to get in your STEM kit today, okay, because we're going to make bubble wands. So your kit is going to have some pipe cleaners and beads. We're going to have a soda bottle and a sock with a rubber band. We're going to have a couple of straws. Now, you're not going to have as many as this. You're only going to have 2 big straws, 2 thick straws. You cut them in half. You can put tape or rubber bands around them. And then there's going to be 2 skinny straws with string that you can make this with. And if you put the whole thing in there, you're going to end up with really big bubbles. Okay, but this is what we're going to be looking at today, because this is what I call a bubble snake. All right, so we're going to be doing a little bit of that. So let's go get our stuff and try this. Okay, so I got some straws. We're outside because we can't blow bubbles in the house. All right, so I took those 2 big straws and I cut them in half and I put a rubber band on them. Okay, and then if you mix 1 squirt of dish detergent and a half a cup of water, that's all it is. You can just dip your bubble blowers in there. Okay. Okay, my hands are dry, so I can't hold the bubbles. But that's one of the things you can do with these, or you can blow lots of little bubbles. But my favorite thing to do here, okay, you're going to get a soda bottle. You're going to get a sock. The socks are clean. Water bottles have already been cut and they've already been washed out. Right? Socks have already been washed. Most of them are odd socks. You can do it with any kind of socks. Some of them might even be a piece of a sock, so you might have to put a rubber band on it because it's only a piece of a sock. This is a baby sock, so this one fits really good. Okay, so you're going to put it on. If you need to put a rubber band on it to make it tight, you do that. Try not to get any soap on this side because this is where you're going to put your mouth, okay? So again, this is the side we want to get the soap on. Okay, so we're going to go like this. Let it drip a little bit. Okay, and then right, and you can keep blowing. Now, if you want, and you can keep blowing, this is still full of soap, so it's not going to use up a lot of soap. You don't have to keep dipping it in. Okay, when it doesn't blow anymore, but a little bit of like what's this, then you can dip it back in. If you put a little bit of food coloring on your sock, you can dip it in there and you will have a blue snake or a green snake. If you put a lot of colors on though, you're probably going to have a brown snake, all the colors mixed together, okay? Be very careful. Don't get the food coloring on your clothes though, because when you do that, or on your arm, if you blow the snake on your arm, you're going to end up whatever color your snake is, okay? But if you do it just like this is just soap, okay? So that's fine, and that'll wash right off. Just be very careful if you use food coloring, okay? Because I don't want you to stain anything. So have fun. Maybe send me some pictures, please. I'd love to see how long your snakes are, what kind of snakes you got. All right. Talk to you next week. We're going to make ice cream.